arrived in the meeting point. Soon we're gonna get into something like this. I don't know if it's gonna be this type of kayak. They have a couple more different types of kayaks here on the actual canal. We're waiting for a couple more people from the group, but once we get in there, we're going to get on the water, sail down these canals to some man-made islands where people have been growing crops for many generations, hundreds of years. How do you think it's gonna be, love?
I think it's gonna be peaceful, actually. It already seems peaceful over here.
Yeah, it's much quieter than even 10 minutes up the road. You're just in the middle of the city.
All you hear is the birds. The birds, and you can see the stillness of the water. So I think it'll be cool.
As we're arriving, you can see people jogging along the canals, and it's a different environment here than it is in the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, I like it.
What do you expect, man? What do you think it's gonna be like?
I want to row the boat.
You want to row the boat yourself?
So again, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Sofia, and the other guy is Paco over here. Today we're gonna be your guides for this tour, and well, just a couple of instructions before we get in. So did you saw the canoes that are over here parked? Well, we're going into those canoes, and we're going to paddle. But paddling is optional, don't worry. If we give you a paddle, you can always switch with another person, or if you want to rest for a while, it's also okay. So paddling is optional, because we know, I mean, the first time I was in Xochimilco, my arms were soaring the whole time, so I get it. We're going to paddle right now for 40 minutes, around 40 minutes to our Chinampa. And over there we're gonna do a lot of other activities. But in the meantime, we're gonna be telling you about the story of Xochimilco. We're gonna be talking about everything we are seeing. And if at some point you have questions, please always reach out for us, because we love questions.
The boat went down like 3 inches when I got in.
It is about to leave. Get in!
You okay, sweetheart?
I was excited and now I'm scared.
Why are you afraid?
It's rocking.
It is definitely rocking. You'll make it though. Plus you know how to swim. You'll be all right. You seem like you're a little more comfortable now. Yeah?
She's throwing away the...
Are you cleaning the... Whoa. She almost put us in the drink. Okay. Were the canals built by the indigenous people or just the islands?
Not the canals, but the islands.
Okay.
So the islands were made by the people many years ago.
Careful!
Well, Chinampas, a lot of people may have told you that they are floating islands. But actually, these are artificially made islands that are attached to the soil. And how do we make a Chinampa? Well, the first thing is to find a shallow place in the lake. The next step is to put a perimeter of sticks. And afterwards, you have to fill all of that perimeter with what I call an Aztec lasagna, because it's made with a lot of layers, until it reaches a level above the water between 30 to 60 centimeters. And like that, you have your Chinampa. But also, some important steps are the trees that you're seeing on the shores of the Chinampas. These trees that you're seeing, the ones that look thin and large, well, those ones are ahuejotes, or we also call them Mexican willows. Those trees actually are really strong and they love water. And they put them over there because they create a net with their roots. And like that, they keep the soil of the Chinampa attached to the Chinampa so it doesn't erode back to the lake.
They told us about this plant.
That happened to me.
This is the hyacinth plant. It's originally from Brazil. Initially, the government here in Mexico had introduced it to the canals because they wanted to beautify the canals, but unfortunately it overtook all of the native agriculture and started suffocating. Like it would flow and
cover the entire surface and
of
everything
the water,
underneath,
which would decrease the oxygen to all the plants and the life in the water. And so now the farmers have to manually go throughout the water and basically just grab all of the hyacinth that is growing on top of the water and just take it out manually.
At least try.
At least try. And so they have to kind of religiously do it, otherwise it will continue to cover the whole surface of the water. It's everywhere, like literally everywhere.
And I was trying to help by taking it out and throwing it on the ground.
She was trying to help, even though she got some water in our canoe.
These chinampas once fed the entire city of Tenochtitlan, which had a population of over 400,000 people prior to Spanish colonization. Unfortunately, today only about 15% of the chinampas are used for agriculture. There's many reasons for this, but primary amongst those reasons is the fact that sports and tourism are simply more profitable businesses. Preservation projects like this are exactly why we choose to do cultural tourism in the places we visit.
So here with us today we met Sophie, and she is here part of the organization that she wants to describe what they're doing here.
So actually we are a non-profit that is called Humedalia that works in the lake of Xochimilco. We have been working in here for 8 years more or less. Okay. And what we're doing here is to try to make a model for agriculture that is sustainable and that is applied to the chinampas, and also that can be profitable for the farmers over here. And at the same time we have a model of ecological restoration, and we work with environmental education and with ecotourism.
So you all work directly with the farmers, or you have your own islands, or?
So actually we work with this chinampa over here.
Oh, specifically?
Specifically because we own this chinampa, and let's say that this is like our model that we show to everyone.
Okay.
So like that we can gather farmers sometimes for workshops, and we invite them to our chinampa for them to see how we work.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
This is awesome.
This is a freshly planted garden bed. First they put the seeds in the ground and they cover it. Then once the seeds are up, it looks like this. They were telling us that here on the Chinampa, the farm, they often plant the plants in a specific order. The reason is certain types of plants deposit certain nutrients in the ground, and other plants deposit other nutrients, and those nutrients can help each other. So it's a symbiotic relationship. They call it the three sisters. So they'll plant certain types of plants right next to each other in a certain order so that they can feed the soil and feed one another.
So over here they've created these microhabitats to block and filter some of the water coming through from the canals in order to make a better habitat for lots of species that can grow in this water, including the axolotl, which is like a local salamander type of
beast. It's a local salamander that's endangered. It's an endangered species.
Yes, so these waters actually help to protect that species of animal. They have a couple of them living here. They said they have 4, but they're kind of hard to track because they live deep in the water. And
they'll breed and create more. They also mentioned that they're able to now take the water out of here instead of out of the canals. And what that does is it gives cleaner water for the plants that they're planting. And it also helps to preserve the levels of the canals, so they're not taking water from there. This tour really felt more substantive than just taking the party boat down Xochimilco. Not saying you shouldn't do the party boats, but at least if you don't do this tour instead, at least do this tour in addition to taking the party boats down the canals. They gave us a demonstration of how they plant and raise the crops. Then we got to eat a delicious meal, which was grown and prepared right here on this Chinampa. Then it was time to play a game in which they handed us something they had picked from the garden, and we had to do a blind taste test to see if we could recognize the flavor. Keep your eyes closed.
I'll tell you when to try it, okay?
Keep your eyes closed.
So we can try it all together. Okay, so please try it.
What does it taste like?
Mint.
It tastes like mint?
Whatever that stuff is, it feels like it.
Licorice type flavor?
It's dill, yeah, it's dill.
I can't get it out of my mouth.
Okay, guys.
You are allergic to pollen?
Oh, it's okay. No, it's just seasonal allergies. They're fine.
It's fine?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please, you can push it between your fingers and smell it, okay? Don't eat it because it's a little bit. Don't eat it.
Smell like, man.
I dropped
Open
it.
your hand.
Oh, it smells good.
Smash it now with your fingers.
It's Daisy.
Is it edible?
Yes,
Yeah.
but if you eat it like rotten,
eat it raw,
it's
it
a
doesn't
little bit bitter.
taste
But once it's soaked in water, it's really good.
You ever had canoe?
Oh, yeah. As a final activity on the island, we got to take part in preserving this ancient activity and culture by planting our own plant in the soil on the Chinampa, and we got to give it its own name. It's gonna be Bob Marley. Yeah. Bob Marley. Put Bob Marley in the ground here.
I wanna love you.
And treat you right.
Okay, congratulations to all of you guys.
Yay!
Now you can put in your resume that you were chinamperos for one day.
After leaving Xochimilco, we headed to the historic center to experience some of what Tenochtitlan, this massive city that was fed by the Chinampas, was like. When we got there, we were met with another unforgettable experience. It seemed that a member of the community had passed away, and they were holding a traditional ritual to memorialize her. It was truly an honor to even be a small part of this moment. Last time Fab and I came to Mexico City, it was near the end of the pandemic, and these ruins were closed. Everything was closed. But we've been looking forward to this moment when we can come back and actually get an up close look.
We didn't get to see much last time. So
Yeah.
we actually get to walk through the pathways that were closed.
Yeah, and they've actually added to it over there. This wasn't here last time. It's interesting how many similarities you find between the cultures over in the Yucatan Peninsula, the Mayas, those cultures, and the cultures you find here in the central part of Mexico. For example, one example is that we're seeing how this pyramid, there's 7 pyramids inside, so each new king would build a pyramid on top of the other pyramid to show his greatness is even greater than the king that came before him. And that's not it. There's lots of different things. Even the methodology of the art and different things really shows similarities to the cultures in other parts of Mexico.
It's amazing how the civilization was able to put together, like create asphalt and put together all of this stone that has been existing for centuries, even before contact with Western civilization.
And no potholes like we get.
No potholes that we have to keep like replacing and cleaning up.
Maybe
every
they did it
couple
better.
years. And the fact that like everything is so laid out, so smooth, even still, like there's literally really no cracks.
Yeah.
This whole surface right here.
And it's been buried under dirt and everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe how the ruins are still standing.
After all these years.
Yeah. For 700 years.
Daddy,
That
it's
is the-
tequila.
Yo, that's the biggest agave I've seen in my life.
That's humongous.
Tequila.
It's huge.
Oh, wait, no, No, that's agave that
They
use
cut
agave
down.
to make tequila.
And they had to cut that one down. Yo,
That's a big freaking agave.
I want one of those in our backyard.
That would take over like a third of our backyard.
I want y'all to comment. Give Jeremiah his big agave.
Like the kids would hurt themselves badly.
These climates.
Our dog would run into it and be harmed.
Be stabbed all the way through.
And probably get stuck if she tried to jump over one of the little leaves.
Thingies.
We have a big aloe.
Can I have one, Annalise? Can I have one of
I
those?
want to run around the whole yard, and I know Luna wants to run laps around the whole yard 300 times.
One thing I will say is that this elevation is getting me.
The elevation is serious. You don't really like think about it, but it creeps up on you. Like,
Yeah.
when you
I'm going upstairs like.
we looked it up earlier today, right? Compared to
Yeah, so
in Atlanta.
it's like 7,500 feet above sea level here, whereas Atlanta is 1,000 feet above sea level. So you got over a 6,000 foot gain.
So when you're walking, you kind of feel, more so when you're walking upstairs.
Or we're carrying suitcases upstairs.
You kind of feel it as if you haven't worked out.
Yeah.
It creeps up.
Stop your complaining.
You just started complaining. So it's 90 pesos to get in per person. It's 50 extra pesos to film. And then the kids were free. So it's actually
13 and under.
13
free.
and under. So it's actually pretty reasonable as far as just coming in to see the ruins and getting to experience it, walking through the walkways. So
It's worth it, definitely.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
Where's the cat? I don't see it. There's a cat?
It's laying down now. It crawled up top.
Sissy, where's the cat?
It's over there. Look closely, Daddy. Zoom in.
I'm zoomed in. I don't see a cat.
Daddy, let me.
Listen, if y'all see this cat on video, let me know in the comments because I don't see any cat.
Let me point.
Where's your finger? Get your finger in the camera. There you go. There's your finger. Now she's getting her phone out trying to prove to me there's a cat.
Look at it. Look. It's right there.
Oh, I see it on the phone. Hold on. Let me see. I see it on the phone. Right there. Oh, I see the cat. I see the cat.
It's sleeping.
It's the spirit of the ancestors.
Yeah, that cat definitely the ancestors.
You think so, Jaden? It's really dark in here. I don't know how well you can see us. But on this monolith, and first of all, this thing is incredible. Like the preservation and the intricacy of the artwork. One thing that they noted in the description is that parts of it are painted in Maya blue. The Mayans did not live in this area, so apparently the people from this area had contact with the Mayas, and the Mayans shared how to make Mayan blue with them. And then Jaden pointed out, what'd you say, Jaden?
I said that there was some blue left over on the earrings, and this side of these. 1, 2, 3, 4.
In the different areas where there's still blue.
You can see it.
You can see it. You can see it right
You can see
there.
more so right there.
See it right there. See the earrings, as well as the red paint that the Mexica people were familiar with. So when the Spanish built this cathedral, they actually used the bricks from Templo Mayor from Tenochtitlan in the building of it, and they even used some of the style. If you look closely, you can see how they used all the different carvings in the wall, similar to how the indigenous people built their buildings. This field of agave is amazing, and I'm loving it right now. But it's cool to see some of them are actually giving off their blossoms. And once they blossom, they give out their seed, and then the mother plant dies, But if you look, man, some of these blossoms, like these blossoms are tall, but look at the blossoms over there. I mean, all right, I made Fab stand next to this thing so you guys can get a reference of the size. Look at the size of the agave behind her, and then look at the size of this stalk going up. Look at that.
They're taller than I am.
That's crazy. You got stuck by one of them? Listen.
People are writing their names on them.
Wow. And those cacti are awesome too. Before leaving the historic center, we stopped to get some souvenirs, and we happened upon this indigenous gentleman who seemed to instantly form a special bond with us and gave a blessing of different types to both of our children.
Es el mismo. I mean energy, you energy, one energy. Okay. Come on, come on.
That was so cool. You got a traditional blessing. He didn't have to do that, but he wanted to share that with you, and then he brought mommy in and was, you know, blessing your bond as mother and daughter. Aww. Our experiences today are just many more reasons why we have grown to love the Mexican people and Mexico as a whole. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out one of the other videos that's on your screen now, and we will see you on the next adventure.